Hi, it's Elizabeth Shakti here on a Sunday afternoon. I'm just heading into London to do a rehearsal for Dancing the Goddess with Shakti Sundari, and I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be at the Awakening the Goddess Festival. It's a one-day festival in London, Primrose Hill, next Saturday. It's £15 to get in. You can buy tickets. I'll put a link down below. And just really briefly, because I have been totally in touch with following the breadcrumbs to my inner peace, and from a life that has been full of an awful lot of sadness, of trauma, of disease, of all the things that I've talked about before, I found a place within me that I knew was in me where I feel very comfortable in my own skin, and as a reflection of that, I'm feeling like I'm living the life that I've always wanted to live. And what I want to do is, I'm so keen to share my story and where I've been and what I've done. I remember at about the age of 13 when I started to get really bad acne, and I was really scared to meet people face to face. I couldn't look people in the eye because I didn't want people looking at me. This lasted well into my 30s. My skin was bad, my spots were bad. I used to pick them a lot because my way of not feeling was to squeeze my spots. And so then I'd end up with a really, really red face. And throughout the whole kind of 2 or 3 decades of my life, I'd go to a disco, and as soon as the lights came on, I would have to hide myself. I couldn't be seen because I felt so ugly. And I remember one day at the age of about 15 washing my face, because I wore makeup from a very young age, plastered with makeup. And I remember we had a mirror in the bathroom that was quite high up, and I remember washing my face and washing all my makeup off and looking up in the mirror and getting a glimpse of this beautiful girl. And when I saw this beautiful girl, she was somebody who was inside of me, and I caught a glimpse of what I felt was deep inside of me. I saw her in the mirror. And I always believed that beauty comes from within. I always knew it. And even if what I saw on the outside didn't reflect that, I always believed that there was a beautiful person inside of everybody. And so every time I met somebody, I always connected with them, not on face value, but on what I saw inside. And what I noticed over the years and on my travels and stuff was that people that exuded a certain self-confidence and a certain inner love and a certain comfortableness with who they were always looked beautiful. And it didn't matter what they looked like on the outside. It didn't matter if they were fat, thin, short, green, black, white, blue, crazy hairstyle. The love I felt for people, meeting them one-to-one, I never saw the outside. I always saw the inside. And so I've got so much I want to share on this journey of mine, because I feel like I have finally, at the age of 56, kind of come into such alignment, so that what I'm really experiencing, and it's quite emotional to say this, and I want to move some of my posts into a more private place in my new riseshakti.com website, because I want to share a lot more kind of deep stuff with people about, like, real honest stuff that I don't necessarily want to be in such a public arena, because I know a lot of people watch these videos and I know a lot of people are curious, but I want to connect with people who genuinely want this transformation, who genuinely, like, I've just read a big article, I've been prompted, I've just read a big article that someone's posted. I've actually posted it on my heart circling group, and it's about middle age and older women catching a glimpse of themselves in the mirror and not liking what they see, and this whole thing about feminism and this, and it kind of sort of triggered me a little bit, because it really does not matter what age we are. When I was in my 30s, I looked really haggard and stressed and old, and I remember dyeing my hair and plastering myself in makeup to try and cover up so many wounds and so many emotions and so much trauma. And I covered it up and I covered it up, and I drank and I smoked and I smoked and I smoked and I had another drink and I smoked and I smoked. And I was talking with a client this week, a client who's in her early 40s. She's got 2 children. She has a very, very good job. And I said to her, we were having a Skype session, and I said to her, what is it that you're suppressing? What is the emotion that you're suppressing that makes you drink a lot and makes you feel the way you feel? And she said it was her desire to fit in, and her belief of fitting in was in having the right house, having the right car, having the right neighbours, being in the right community, being in the right area. And yet she didn't feel like she was really being her true self. And you know, all this kind of new agey bullshit stuff that goes around about this love and light. There was another post I read about today about love, light. You know, in order to transform, we have to face our own fucking shit. We have to go into the depths. And I was really kind of catapulted into this after a lot of work for many years when I went to Christian Pankhurst's Heart IQ deep dive 3-day session this week. I must get off to London actually. But you know, I was faced with some serious emotions that I had never ever experienced, to the point where a guy was covered in pillows, I had a baton, and I had to express rage that I had never ever ever felt. I'd never been in touch with the rage that sat within me towards my first husband, rest in peace Steve, towards the way he treated me when I was pregnant in my first pregnancy. And I was given the opportunity with a baton to access a part of me, because this is the language that we use in Heart IQ. It's like, I wasn't angry with my first husband. I couldn't even access that rage. I couldn't access the anger I felt towards him, the fact that we were starving and that he was addicted to fruit machines and we never had any money for food, and that he went one night and had a drink with a girl while I was 5 months pregnant and then denied that he even knew me. All of that was literally stuffed down into me. So, you know, years later, when fellow yoga teachers sort of like kind of was sneakily saying to other retreat members, God, Liz is a yoga teacher and she smokes, you know, that's really not what yoga teachers do. Like, how dare you judge me? You don't know me and I don't know you. So like, this whole thing about judging people where we've come from, it's so important that we go into the shit and the dark, and that we face and we meet these emotions that are stuck within all of us. It doesn't matter how successful, how much money you've got, where you live, if you've got the right job or the wrong job, or if you know, overweight, underweight, whatever. We're all carrying emotions. We're all carrying stuff that we've brought in, not just from this lifetime, but from many lifetimes. When we can go into that place and open and soften and express, and then bring it into the body and learn to remember that we have a body in this lifetime, that we have an ability to express ourselves creatively through movement, through art, through creative possibilities, then we start to become beautiful on the inside, when we love and accept ourselves and connect with that person that we really, really are, not the person that everyone else wants us to be. And I've got so much to share and so much to say, and I don't feel that this is the arena that I want to go into some of the deeper stuff. And I'm creating some courses, but I want to share a lot more. So what I'm going to suggest, if anyone's interested, sign up to the link below, riseshakti.com. Sign up. I'm offering a free 15-minute consultation, but I'm also going to start sending out emails with live videos that I'm going to make, but it's going to be for people who I know are there and who genuinely want change. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what sex you are, but I want to connect. I want to connect on a more, when I say personal level, I'm willing to open up and share my story. Facebook Live doesn't feel like the place. I know what I have done in my life so far has brought me to this point. I have finally, after many, many years, discovered how to be the real me and follow my heart and trust in little happenings, more magical happenings, more and more and more. Just to give you a quick example before I go, the bush outside my house, I'm still sitting on my drive, was completely overgrown. It was just growing all over the place. It was way too big, bushy, blah blah, and I just thought I really need somebody to come and cut my hedge. And normally what I do every year is the next door neighbour will be having theirs cut, and I'll say to the guy, oh, you know, can I pay you to cut my hedge? I think I mentioned this in a post the other day, and this particular guy said, I'm really busy, I can't do it. And I thought, okay, that's not worked, so I must get someone. And then literally 4 days ago, I was coming out of my house. I have lived at my house for 30 years, since my kids were little. I have lived in my house for 30 years. Nobody has ever come to me as I'm getting in my car and said, would you like your front hedge trimming? So that's just, and I said, yes, please, that's just what I want. These are just little examples of when we're in tune with, resonating with, in alignment with something higher, then things like having enough money or not having enough money, not having enough creative ideas, not having enough, not like I don't look old, I you know, rubbish that women should get older and look wonderful, we should be proud of looking in the mirror and seeing saggy, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on outside. What really matters is what's going on the inside. And when we connect with whatever's going on, when we connect with something that's more than who we are, when we connect into that energy and we start to learn what self-love means and we start to follow our own passions and our own creativity, the universe steps in and says, ah, yeah, that person is really kind of stepping into this space. I'm going to meet you there and I'm going to support you there. And that's when life starts to get wonderful. And that's when the eyes start to twinkle, and that's when the skin naturally starts to look more glowing. And that's when we start to exude this kind of energy whereby a client came in last week and said to me, Liz, called me out of a one-to-one session, I see a big orb above your head and I very rarely see that. And I was like, oh my goodness me, I have an orb now. I don't know much about orbs, but all I know is that I can really help and support other people in feeling safe enough to find the courage to go into those places. I get stopped in the supermarkets, I get stopped in the shops. I'm not saying that I know it all, because I don't. What I am willing to share is my experience of how I've come out of really dark places where I have felt like crap. You know, you can just, my ex-partner said to me in my early 40s, he used to say I was like just some middle-aged old woman who had terrible skin. He told me that I looked like crap and that I needed to lose weight. And, you know, those things start to build up and you start to believe them. On the tiniest level, it also makes you think, actually, do you know what, I want to really be really healthy, and I have a vision of how I would like to look. And then it's not about the weight you are, it's about, are you eating healthily, are you loving yourself, are you taking care of yourself, because your weight will find its natural weight. And when you exude that self-confidence, and that, you know, Pilates is fantastic for self-confidence and for feeling that your posture is well aligned, that you're well aligned, that you're standing upright and tall and proud and confident. That has a huge impact. The family I taught this morning, you know, little 10-year-old girl is getting so much more confidence because she's able to stand up and not wobble around and be unbalanced and very shy and all of these things that are happening just by standing in her own alignment with her own presence and breathing. It sounds a bit corny if you don't understand what I mean, but just to stand up straight and breathe is beautiful. People walk out of that studio looking more radiant and beautiful than when they walked in. So I must go because I'm going to be late. I just wanted to share all that because I'm feeling really passionate. I said I've read a couple of things on Facebook just before I was leaving. And I kind of felt like I wanted to say something that, like, age, beauty, blah, 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 blah. Forget all that. How do you feel inside? Let's start with the basics, like we do in Pilates. What's going on inside? Are you willing to touch and to visit the dirty, dark, shitty, crappy places? Do you have the courage? Do you want support? Because I really want to support people who want to go there and who want transformation and who want to feel more beautiful on the inside, because you are beautiful and you need to know it. Have a great day. Bye.